Now to Pakistan, where the predominantly Pashtun tribal region will vote for the first time in next week's general election. The federally administered tribal area of Fata is an autonomous region within Pakistan. It's home to 5 million people who are mainly from the Pashtun ethnic group. The Pashtuns are Pakistan's second biggest ethnic group, making up 15% of the population of 207 million. Major military campaigns have been carried out in Fata amid regional and international accusations of it being a breeding ground for terrorism, especially following the 9/11 attacks in the US. Almost 2 million people have been displaced since these military operations began in 2001. Now, they say they have been the targets of military operations, internal displacement, ethnic stereotyping and forced disappearances. Kamal Haider has more from Peshawar in Pakistan.
Pakistan is due to hold a crucial election on the 25th of July. And for the first time, the tribal people of Pakistan who were administered from Islamabad will be taking part in the elections. They have already endured hardships by leaving their areas because of insecurity. They have seen military operations, and for the past 70 years, the tribals here did not have the right to vote. Their representatives were chosen by tribal chieftains, and they were always willing to make accommodation with the central government in Islamabad. But this time round, we see a new enthusiasm.
This is the first time in the history of Pakistan that the people of the tribal belt are participating in the upcoming elections. You can see the colorful flag banners all around, which were impossible before.
We have not been given the right to vote. The merger of this area was our key demand so that we can get our basic human rights, which other people of the country already have.
The tribals have been merged into mainstream Pakistan. They are now wholeheartedly a part of the political mainstream. You can see the excitement here, although there is a security risk, but the people of the tribal area, like the rest of Pakistan, are adamant that they will exercise their right to vote. There are 1.5 million male voters and 1 million female voters in an area which has a population of almost 5 million people. But for Pakistan's tribal population, this will be the first time that they will be able to cast their votes, choose their representatives for people who have been deprived of their rights, who have seen military conflict in their area. This is indeed a major change, one that they welcome. But this could not have been possible without the sacrifices of the tribal population and the security forces.
Now, while some Pakistanis celebrate being able to vote for the first time, a minority group known as the Ahmadis community is lamenting their continued exclusions from the elections. Sarah Khairat joins us with more on that.
Well, the Ahmadis in Pakistan have faced persecution for decades, in fact, affecting nearly every aspect of their lives, from attending school to voting. But this year, the community has announced it won't participate in next week's national election because of discriminatory voting regulations. And this is the press release that they actually put out on Twitter as well. But to find out more, we spoke to an Ahmadi representative. However, for safety reasons, he has asked not to be named.
Of the many forms of persecution faced by Ahmadis in Pakistan, one is that they are unable to exercise their right to vote as citizens of the country. Since 2002, Pakistan has operated under a joint electoral system, but even despite that, there are still separate voter lists for Ahmadis. And for Ahmadis to exercise their right of vote through these lists means having to compromise on their self-identity as Muslims and to accept the identity that the Pakistani state has imposed upon them of being outside the fold of Islam, and that is a compromise most Ahmadis in Pakistan are unwilling to make.
Well, the estimated 4 million Ahmadis in Pakistan consider themselves Muslim, but the government doesn't. And that's because of the Ahmadi belief that there was a Muslim prophet after the Prophet Muhammad. Now, Pakistani law explicitly forbids Ahmadis from what it calls posing as a Muslim. And it's that kind of legal language that has led to many attacks against the Ahmadi community, whether it's in their neighborhoods or mosques. And mobs have, in fact, beaten up vocal activists who are fighting to be recognized and have accused them of blasphemy. And And so there are concerns that marginalising the Ahmadis by putting them on a separate voters list is enough to make them a target.
Where somebody wants to do a target killing of any Ahmadi, all he has all the addresses. He goes and stands outside that person's home for 2 weeks. He knows exactly what time he will come and when he will go and where he will go and how he will go. And then he picks them off sitting on a motorcycle, he shoots him down. And this has been happening all over the country for the last so many years. And this discrimination is there, essentially has been put there so that the Ahmadis, they know that once you discriminate against the Ahmadis like this, the Ahmadis will not vote. And they are not interested in the Ahmadis voting. Nobody even comes to seek a vote from us. In Rabwa, which is 95% Ahmadi, no candidate ever goes to canvass in Rabwa and to say that please give us your vote, because he knows that we are not going to vote.
So the question is, what's being done about it? Well, there are some politicians pushing for change. Jibran Nasir is an activist turned politician, and he's running for parliament in Pakistan's largest city, Karachi. Now, on Tuesday, he was surrounded by a mob demanding him to denounce Ahmadis as non-Muslims. Nasir refused, and he actually also put a statement out the next day.
I will not change my stance. You can try to stop me, threaten me, attack me, or even torture me, but I will not change my position. I will not deviate from my stand. I am not scared of people who try to act as God. I will always stand for justice, human rights, and democracy.
Now, Pakistan's national election is on Wednesday, and Human Rights Watch says it can't be free and fair if the Ahmadi community is effectively excluded. Now, we have a lot of followers in Pakistan, so we're keen to hear your thoughts on this. I'm Sarah Khairat. You can always tweet me and drop me a line anytime.
Sarah, thank you very much for that. Chinese Premier Li Keqiang has ordered